Banco Gambit is the topic of our next discussion. Now, this is the opening that, well, in some country they called Volga Gambit, or it was greatly, American Grandmaster Paul Banco was greatly contributed into development of this opening and promoting it, and it was very, very popular a couple of decades ago, and black was getting sound game and sufficient compensation for sacrificed pawn, and there are some very valid positional ideas behind this opening. So the way it starts is d4, knight f6. Let's look at this opening from white's perspective. So if you know your opponent is going to play after c4, c5, d5, and b5, that's the beginning of the Banco Gambit. So there are ways to avoid Banco Gambit. On d4, knight f6, there are several ways. But every time you avoid it, you get some different openings. So the choices are knight f3, after which you may get c5, d5, and b5. Now this is one type of position you can get, or if you don't, after knight f3 and c5, if you don't go d5 but play c3, this is different type of position. Of course, this is all playable for white, but we want to play for advantage for white. And after c5, if we try c4, then black is going to take cd, and we get English opening, which all these openings we're going to cover, but they are in different chapters. So one we want to analyze now is, after we mentioned already how white can depart from this opening, let's go on with the actual Banco Gambit. d5, b5. Now there are many, many ways for white to play against Banco Gambit. Well, I don't have luxury here to cover every way of playing, so what I would do is only recommend you the way I would play against it. And I mentioned earlier, if you play opening the way I play opening, you're going to be okay. It may not be the absolute optimally best way to play, but if you play opening like average grandmaster, you're going to be okay. After that, if you want more than that, then this series and this DVDs are not for you. So after b5, c takes b, a6. Now what I would recommend to do here for white is to play b6 move. Now b6 move, this is declined gambit, declined Banco Gambit. There are continuations like knight c3 with a takes b, e4, with a very complicated tactical positions, which I don't recommend, because this, first of all, is a lot of theory to learn, and the last word that this is not good for white. So the main move is, of course, b takes a, which gives white an extra pawn, but which gives black sufficient counterplay. If you really like to get a pawn and to take on a6, you go ahead and learn different continuations, but I can only recommend one continuation for every opening. I would go b6, and black has two different ways to respond.